Hello everyone, thanks for being here. Today I want to show you how AI is amplifying what developers can do, how it acts as a force multiplier in coding. I'll walk you through a prototypical developer timeline for building a new feature in an IDE, explain how AI fits into each step, and then show you real companies that are already going all in on AI in software development. Let's start by imagining the developer timeline, what a week might look like when building a new capability into an existing system. You wake up day 0 with an idea. I want to add capability X to module Y. You sketch out designs, constraints, use cases, maybe write a rough spec. By the end of the day or early the next, you settle on an architecture you like. On day 1, you scaffold. You create folders, define interfaces, add stubs, wire up dependencies. The structure is laid out, just not the logic. On day 2, you build the core logic. Data flows, business rules, integrations, error handling, state transitions. Day 3 is all about tests, unit, integration, edge cases, mocking scenarios. Day 4, you debug and refactor. Tests surface failures. You reorganize, extract helpers, optimize, clean up. Day 5, you integrate this feature into the larger system. Connect APIs or UI, update callers, write documentation or migration scripts, produce usage examples. By day 6 or 7, you polish, do code review, make final tweaks, improve error messages, address feedback, then ship. Without AI, that's a realistic timeline for a moderate enhancement. Now, let's see where AI steps in and accelerates everything. Now, let me explain why AI becomes a force multiplier in coding, especially when integrated deeply into your environment. First, AI takes on the repetitive, boilerplate parts you don't want to think about. Class scaffolding, getters, setters, wiring, serializers, validation layers. Instead of spending hours writing that, AI can generate it in seconds, letting you focus on the logic. Second, and this is a game changer, tools like Cursor and Windsurf don't treat your code as isolated fragments. They index your entire development environment, your folder structure, naming patterns, style guidelines, dependencies, tests, module relationships, and architecture conventions. Because they know your code base, when they generate new code, it's consistent, matching style, imports, folder structure, reuse of helper modules, and integration points. The generated code feels like something someone deeply familiar with your project would write. Third, those tools are deeply context-aware. They understand import paths, cross-file interfaces, build scripts, configuration files, and test scaffolds. When you ask for an extension or modification, the AI doesn't just produce a snippet. It weaves that snippet into your architecture, linking modules correctly, anticipating downstream effects, and understanding how components interact. That cuts down friction, rework, and mismatch. Fourth, iteration gets dramatically faster. You can explore alternate implementations, refactor variants, performance trade-offs, or API changes. Since the tool already comprehends the environment, you don't have to stitch things together manually. The iterations fit in place. Fifth, AI becomes a collaborator, like a pair programmer who already knows your project. The code it produces is more predictable, familiar, and easier to review. Your reviewers focus less on trivial mismatches or formatting, and more on correctness or architectural concerns. All of these amplifications mean that speed multiplies at every stage: ideation, scaffolding, coding, testing, debugging, integration, polish. Now let's look at specific real-world examples of companies embracing AI in development, not just experimenting, but integrating it deeply into their engineering workflows. One striking case is Robinhood. The CEO recently said nearly all of the company's engineers use AI code editors, and that about 50% of new code is now AI-generated. He also noted that it's becoming hard to tell what's human-written versus AI-assisted, especially as they move from autocomplete tools to more agentic systems like Cursor or Windsurf. Business Insider. Another example is Meta, internally using a tool called Code Compose, which integrates a generative and bidirectional model. They gradually rolled it out among thousands of developers and reported that a portion of their code came directly from that tool, especially for boilerplate, API wiring, repetitive patterns, and discovery of unfamiliar libraries. Murali et al., AI-assisted code authoring at scale. DiffBlue is another real example. DiffBlue is a company whose product automatically writes unit tests for Java code. It's autonomous in that context. You point it at a Java class and it generates test code for coverage, saving developers from writing tedious test stubs. DiffBlue, Codo, formerly Codium, is a startup building a unified platform for AI-driven code generation, test generation, code review, and code integrity checking, integrated into VS Code and JetBrains. Their tools are intended to support developers throughout the software development lifecycle, not just in snippets. Codo. SourceGraph has also pivoted to embed AI deeply. Its tools like Cody and AMP act as code assistants, context-aware, cross-repo, multi-language support. They blend code search, generation, documentation, and refactoring capabilities inside large code bases. SourceGraph. In the research realm, there's AutoDev, a system designed for autonomous AI agents that take high-level tasks and drive them through the entire development pipeline, editing files, running builds, executing tests, pushing changes, managing Git operations, and analyzing logs. It's still experimental, but points to how fully autonomous development might evolve. Tufano et al., AutoDev. Another internal example? ANZ Bank experimented at scale with GitHub Copilot across hundreds of engineers. Their study showed productivity gains and positive reception in corporate engineering settings. Chatterjee et al., Impact of AI Tool on Engineering at ANZ Bank. These examples show a spectrum, from targeted AI augmentation, DiffBlue's test writing, to broad AI-assisted development, Meta's Code Compose, Robinhood's adoption, to full agent autonomous systems, AutoDev, under experimentation. To close, AI is rewriting what it means to develop software. In our timeline, from idea to polish, you see where AI injects acceleration. When tools know your full environment, adhere to style, and integrate deeply, they don't just speed one step, they compound across all steps. And we aren't just in theory anymore. Companies like Robinhood, Meta, SourceGraph, DiffBlue, Codo, and others are already putting AI at the heart of their coding workflows. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. And